Every great achievement begins not with a burst of inspiration, but with a quiet decision to keep going. The hidden strength behind every success story isn't talent, luck, or timing. It's the power of consistency. It's the decision to show up when motivation fades, to work when no one is watching, and to believe in progress even when results seem distant. True growth doesn't happen in giant leaps. It unfolds slowly through the repeated actions that build momentum over time. Consistency is the invisible force that turns dreams into discipline and potential into performance. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, but it's powerful enough to change everything. The truth is, motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, and other days you'll want to give up. But the people who create extraordinary results aren't those who wait to feel ready. They're the ones who keep showing up regardless of how they feel. They understand that success isn't a moment of magic, it's a series of choices repeated daily. You don't become great by doing something once, you become great by doing it again and again, refining your effort each time until excellence becomes your standard. Think about it. Every skill, every career, every goal worth pursuing requires consistency. The musician practices scales long before the stage. The athlete trains in silence long before the championship. The writer faces the blank page day after day before a single word inspires others. What they all share is not extraordinary ability, but extraordinary persistence. They trust the process, even when it's repetitive, even when it's hard. Because deep down, they know that consistency is what bridges the gap between where they are and where they want to be. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about doing everything right. It's about refusing to stop when things go wrong. Each time you show up, even imperfectly, you're building strength, resilience, and belief in yourself. You're training your mind to value effort over ease and growth over comfort. The days you push through resistance are the days that shape you the most. Those small, daily efforts may feel insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound into something remarkable. It's easy to admire success from a distance, to think that greatness comes from a single breakthrough. But behind every breakthrough is a long trail of consistency, days of routine, of unseen effort, of showing up without applause. The truth is, anyone can start strong, but very few stay consistent long enough to finish strong. That's what makes consistency so powerful. It doesn't rely on feelings, it's a commitment to a purpose. It's the steady heartbeat of progress that continues long after excitement fades. So if you want to change your life, don't wait for the perfect moment or the right feeling. Just begin and keep beginning every single day, because the moment you choose consistency over comfort, you step into the path of greatness. Motivation is a beautiful thing. It lights a spark inside you, fills you with energy, and makes you believe that anything is possible. But like all sparks, it fades. It burns bright for a moment, and then it disappears if it isn't fed with action. That's why so many people start strong and then lose their way. They mistake motivation for discipline, inspiration for commitment. The truth is, motivation may start your journey, but consistency is what keeps you moving when motivation runs out. It's what carries you through the days when you don't feel inspired, when you're tired, or when progress feels painfully slow. Motivation is emotional. It depends on how you feel, but consistency is intentional. It depends on what you decide. When you rely only on motivation, you live at the mercy of your moods. Some days you'll feel ready to conquer the world, and other days you'll feel like doing nothing at all. But if you rely on consistency, you train yourself to act not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are. That's when the real transformation begins. You stop chasing temporary feelings and start building permanent habits. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start creating progress under any condition. The truth is, every time you show up despite not wanting to, you're teaching yourself something powerful, that your emotions don't control you. You control them. You learn that commitment means doing what you said you would do, long after the excitement of saying it has faded. This is the mindset that separates those who give up from those who grow. Because success is never a one-time effort, it's the accumulation of ordinary days done with extraordinary persistence. When you build consistency, you're not just developing a skill, you're reshaping your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, who keeps promises to themselves, who doesn't give up when it's hard. This builds confidence far greater than any burst of motivation ever could. You no longer need external validation or inspiration because you've learned to depend on your own discipline. You become your own source of strength, and that's the most powerful thing you can be. Every routine you repeat, every small action you take, is a declaration of who you are becoming. You may not see results today or even tomorrow, but every effort is a seed planted, and like any seed, it needs time, patience, and care. The ones who quit early never see what could have grown, but those who stay consistent, even through boredom and struggle, eventually witness the results of their quiet persistence. Motivation may ignite the fire, but consistency keeps it burning. You don't need to feel inspired every day. You just need to stay faithful to the process. The more you act, the stronger your habits become, and the less you rely on fleeting emotions. Over time, the work that once felt hard becomes second nature. And when that happens, you realize that you no longer need motivation to move forward. You've become unstoppable simply because you never stopped. Success has never been about taking giant leaps. It's about taking small, deliberate steps every single day. The problem is that people often underestimate the power of small actions. They believe progress only counts when it's visible, when it's big enough for others to notice. But real growth is quiet. It happens in the background, in the moments when you choose to take one more step, even when you can't yet see the destination. Small steps may not look impressive today, but they are the very foundation upon which greatness is built. Every habit, every skill, every success story begins with something small done repeatedly until it becomes second nature. The truth is, consistency transforms small efforts into unstoppable momentum. It's easy to take one step when you're excited, but what defines you is taking that step when excitement is gone. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to do something every day. Progress doesn't require perfection. It only requires persistence. Every repetition counts, every decision adds up, and every small action compounds over time into something far greater than you imagined. You may not notice the growth while it's happening, but one day you'll look back and realize how far those small steps have taken you. It's easy to get discouraged when results don't show right away. The mind wants immediate validation, quick success, visible proof that effort is paying off, but consistency doesn't work that way. It's like planting seeds. You water them, nurture them, and wait patiently even when nothing seems to be happening. The roots are growing before the leaves ever appear. The same is true in life. The progress you don't see is often the most important kind because it's strengthening your foundation, shaping your character, and preparing you for the moment when everything finally comes together. When you commit to small steps, you build trust with yourself. You learn that you can rely on your own effort, even when the world isn't watching. You stop chasing motivation and start depending on discipline. Over time, this quiet commitment creates unstoppable self-belief. You begin to realize that success doesn't belong to those who move fast. It belongs to those who never stop moving. The smallest consistent action is always more powerful than the biggest burst of temporary effort. The truth is, the difference between success and failure often lies in a single choice: to keep going or to stop. Many people quit not because they can't succeed, but because they don't see results soon enough. But if you can learn to love the process, to value small wins, and to celebrate progress instead of perfection, you'll never run out of energy to keep moving forward. The small steps may seem insignificant now, but they're leading you somewhere extraordinary. One day, the effort that felt invisible will become undeniable. So take that next step, however small it may be. Keep building, keep moving, keep showing up. Because every step counts, and one day, those small steps will create the life you've always dreamed of. The greatest battles you will ever face are not with other people, but with yourself. They happen in silence, inside your own mind, where excuses, doubts, and fears live. Every time you set out to achieve something meaningful, those inner voices start to whisper, "You're tired, you can do it tomorrow, it doesn't matter anyway." They sound reasonable, but they are not your truth. They are your resistance. The real challenge isn't about whether you have enough time or talent. It's about whether you can silence those excuses and keep showing up even when everything inside you wants to stop. Consistency is the weapon that wins that battle. It's what separates those who dream from those who do. There will always be reasons to pause, to rest, to wait for a better moment. But waiting for the perfect time is the same as waiting forever, because that moment never truly comes. The strongest people are not those who never feel doubt or fear. They are the ones who feel it fully and act anyway. They've learned that discomfort is not a signal to stop, it's a sign that growth is happening. Every time you push through resistance, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than your mind wants you to believe. That victory, though small, builds power. It shapes discipline. It strengthens your will. Discipline is not punishment. It's a form of self-respect. It's saying, "I am committed to my goals even when it's hard." When you choose action over hesitation, you build confidence. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's earned every time you do what you said you would do. The more you honor your commitments, the stronger your belief in yourself becomes. You start to realize that you no longer need to rely on motivation or perfect conditions because you've developed something stronger. Trust in your own consistency. That trust is unshakable, and it gives you power in every area of life. You'll face days when progress feels invisible and results seem far away. That's when most people quit. But consistency means doing what's right, not what's easy. It's showing up even when there's no immediate reward. It's understanding that progress happens slowly, often beneath the surface, long before you can see it. The moments that test your patience the most are the ones that are building your strength the deepest. Every time you keep going, you reinforce a message to yourself. I don't stop when it's hard. I stop when it's done. Eventually, this mindset transforms you. You become someone who doesn't run from struggle, but uses it to grow stronger. You start to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to prove your resilience. You stop fearing failure because you know consistency always wins in the end. Each day you overcome the urge to quit. You gain a little more power, a little more focus, a little more control over your own life. That is how true strength is built, not in bursts of effort, but in the quiet decision to fight the battle within, again and again, until perseverance becomes who you are. The true reward of consistency is not just reaching your goals, but becoming the kind of person who never gives up. When you stay consistent long enough, something powerful begins to happen inside you. You stop depending on outside validation, on praise, or on quick results. You begin to find fulfillment in the act of showing up itself. Each day becomes a statement of purpose, a quiet promise to yourself that you are capable of more than your excuses, stronger than your fears, and more determined than your circumstances. The outcome still matters, but the process becomes what defines you. You learn that success is not a single event. It's a lifestyle built one disciplined day at a time. Over time, consistency rewires your identity. You stop saying, "I hope I can," and start saying, "I know I will." You develop faith in yourself because you've seen what happens when you keep going. You've watched small actions compound into big changes. You've felt the pride that comes not from luck or talent, but from effort. That kind of confidence can't be bought, taught, or borrowed. It can only be earned through repetition and patience. You begin to trust yourself, knowing that no matter what challenges appear, you'll have the strength to face them. That self-trust becomes your foundation. It gives you calm in chaos, clarity in confusion, and power in adversity. The beauty of consistency is that it frees you from the need for perfection. You no longer measure progress by how fast you move, but by how faithfully you continue. Some days you'll make huge strides forward. Other days you'll barely take a step. But even on the hardest days, if you keep moving, you are still winning. You understand that growth is not linear. It's messy, unpredictable, and often invisible. Yet every small effort matters. and each day of persistence adds another layer to your strength. This realization changes how you see life. You stop rushing. You stop doubting. You start trusting the process because you've lived through its power. When you live with consistency, life begins to align itself with your effort. Opportunities start to find you, not by accident, but because your habits have prepared you for them. You become magnetic to success, not because you're lucky, but because you've earned the right to receive it. The world rewards those who stay when others leave, who rise when others rest, who keep believing when others quit. The power of consistency doesn't just build results. It builds character, resilience, and a sense of purpose that no setback can destroy. In the end, the greatest transformation happens within. You realize that success was never about achieving something once. It was about becoming someone who could achieve anything through patience, effort, and belief. You understand that consistency is not just a tool for progress. It's a way of living. It's the quiet, relentless force that turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. So no matter how far you have to go, no matter how slow the journey feels, keep showing up. Keep trusting the process. The power of consistency will not only change your results, it will change who you are, and that will change everything about your life.